graduating from university in Melbourne, I was living in Hong Kong for nearly 5 years, working on big bridge projects to the new airport there. No longer a new airport, but done all of that. I was 26 and wanted to be better than I was. And I thought, how can I do that? How can I make my life better? And how can I be better? And I thought learning a language and going to a place I'd never thought of going before would be a good challenge. And I ended up in Japan. And it certainly proved to be quite a challenge on first arrival. But I think it has made me a better person, better understanding, able to deal with a number of challenges that I wouldn't have had if I'd stayed in Hong Kong or gone back to Australia, and more open to new ideas and doing things differently. So it's changed my life, and it was a good decision. I felt like I could actually make a difference here. After learning to speak Japanese relatively well, I found that combined with my skills as a manager and as a commercial person in business, that I could build bridges between people and make things happen. So deals would happen because I was part of them, and it made me feel like I was doing something useful, not just for my organisation, but for the relationship between Australia and Japan. And it made me realise that if I could continue along that path, bigger things could be done and better things could be done. And I would grow as a person, the company would grow, and the relationship between Australia and Japan would improve, even if in a small way, through some of the work that I was doing. So that was one of the reasons I decided to stay. I obviously loved the place, the food, the culture, the fact that people put others before themselves when making a decision is something that's quite attractive to me as a person. And finally, I married a Japanese woman, and she wanted to stay, so I got stuck. The Chamber's played a big role, I think, in my life. I joined the Chamber in 2010 and was immediately made the deputy chair, so I was thrown into it quite early, and then became the chair of the Chamber for 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years, in 2016 to 2019. Through all of that, I was able to meet a great number of fantastic people in all business spheres and at all levels. So, from meeting the newcomer entrepreneur who wanted to start up a business in Japan and learning what made them tick and what support you could potentially provide them, through to meeting prime ministers, CEOs, and premiers of the states, right? So it just exposed me to such a huge variety of interesting people, which I learned from, and enabled me again to be, I think, better than I had been. So the Chamber's played a significant role in my life in making me a better person, but also hopefully I've given back something to the Chamber through those years on the Executive Committee. It's 13 years, nearly 14 years now on the Executive Committee. I think there's a lot more still to do. I think we could bring Japan opportunity into the boardrooms of Australia and New Zealand a lot better than we have, and it's something I would like to continue to work on in the future. So hopefully it's still a big part of my life going forward also.